Hey YouTubers, welcome back. Today I'm just going to go over a handgun that I purchased a few weeks ago, actually about a month ago at this point, from AIM Surplus, and just kind of go over my little opinion of it and kind of tell you a little bit of the history of it and stuff. Won't be that long of a video, but just figured I'd kind of share this with you. So as you can probably tell, if you're a handgun shooter, more contemporary handguns instead of a lot of CNR guns, you know that it's a Beretta model. It's a Model 92 series, but it's distinctively a 92S, which means that it's different than an M9 or like whatever the military uses, the 92F, in a couple of respects. Essentially, like aesthetically, it's pretty much the same. Functionally, it's pretty much the same. They feel the same when you shoot them, but there are a few differences. I'll just kind of go over that. So, in about, I think 1976 or somewhere around there, the Italian police force started using these pistols that were designed off of the like 1951 design. They kind of refined a bunch of things and made it a little bit bigger, and just, you know, you kind of get the modern M9 look from that pistol. So they had been using these since, yeah, about the late 70s, and I mean they're okay for what they are. Again, I'm not a big like fanboy of the 92 series. There are better handguns, but these are far from the worst. So obviously there's a reason they get used so much. So you'll notice that this one has a magazine release on the bottom left grip, and it's towards the bottom, sort of like a European design where you push back on the little release right here, except it's actually a button, which is okay. I mean, it's a lot slower because you actually have to reach down and grab this than, say, an M9 series or a Glock or something that's got the magazine release up here. But if you get used to it and you're not using this for like a self-defense gun or like a speed shooting gun, just for target shooting and kind of, you know, whatever, maybe you carry as a sidearm while you're hunting or something, it's not bad. I mean, if you got 15 rounds in the magazine, so you shouldn't have to reload that much unless you're in like a zombie gunfight, which then, hopefully you've got something other than this. And then the other way it differs from an M9 is the fact that it's got a slide-mounted safety on it versus a frame-mounted safety. Now, it's pretty cool. It does have a decocking feature on this safety, which I wasn't a big fan of them until I actually looked at it when it works. You can see the firing pins right there, and obviously you pull the trigger. And well, for all you safety gurus, I'll clear the weapon again, you know, on camera. Here you go. My hands are all sweaty because it's actually starting to warm up here. Look at that. Nothing in the magazine, nothing in the chamber. You guys happy now? All right. Yeah, so the weapon's clear. So you see the firing pin. Now when you start to rotate this, the firing pin disappears. So sorry if it's not focusing in good enough. You see the firing pin disappears, and then the hammer will drop. So there's actually really no way this thing can go off at that point, which kind of gives me a little bit of peace of mind. But yeah, essentially it's kind of like a P38, a Walther P38 action. Okay, so now I'll get to kind of, you know, I get this from AIM Surplus, and this was one of their grade 2s or whatever, because it's got a few little rust spots, as you can see. Like, when I say little, I mean little, like that. God, this thing really doesn't like to focus at all. So it's got a couple of rust spots right here. A little bit of holster wear. It's all aesthetic, though. It doesn't affect the functionality. There's no cracked grips or anything. It's just, this is grade 2 to people that have it way too good and expect perfection out of a surplus and used handgun. I do not. I like the functionality, and I like the used looking ones because I tend to beat the crap out of my firearms anyway. So if they're already beat to crap a little bit and have been used, it's no skin off my ass. Yeah, anyways, this, of course, in case you didn't know, in case I have to explain this, fires the 9x19 Parabellum cartridge. Just like most handguns, 9mm was preferred in everywhere except the US. Well, even the US used these, but like 45 is like the US cartridge, 9mm is the rest of the world's, or the Western world's. So that's why it fires this. Yeah, and our military uses the M9, as you know, and it's being phased out by the Sig Sauer P320 or something like that. But this model, this kind of model, stood by the American military from the late 80s all the way until now. But when I was in, I wasn't a big fan of the M9s because the ones we had were very, very used and weren't maintained very well. So, like, you know, this doesn't rattle when you shake it. Ours would rattle. They were not very well maintained, but it is what it is. So we had problems with accuracy and reliability. This one I haven't had problems with. Took it out to the range and I've fired many rounds through this, and it works pretty good. So it's got a 4.9-inch barrel on it, which is pretty cool. It's a really accurate gun. I was hitting stuff at 25. Maybe I'll make a video on this, but You know, we'll see, because it takes time and whatever, and that's not something I have a lot of at the time of me making this video. But perhaps this summer we'll go out and make a video on shooting this thing. Pretty accurate. Yeah, so I think I paid, all said and done, about a little over $300 for this with the FFL transfer fee and everything, which wasn't bad. It's a nice little gun for $300. That's about what I'd pay for an M9 if they were all surplus. And what's cool about these is, yeah, like I said earlier, the 15-round magazine. Now, it won't take standard like USGI M9 mags like this, right? Because the mag release requires it to have a little cutout down here in the back, right? And the M9 mags don't, because their release is up farther and it's up there. The 92S mags will fit in both the M9 and the 92S. And there's a lot of like aftermarket magazines that you can buy that'll have the cutout for the 92S in there, so that's not really a big deal in finding mags. Just letting you know they're not interchangeable with the standard USGI M9 mags. So, yeah, 15-round mag, pretty easy to load, just like a M9. Like I said, it feels just like an M9. Minus the magazine release and the safety, it pretty much is. Same size and everything. So, alright, well, we'll just kind of keep this video a little short. Hope you enjoyed it. And, yeah, if these come up again at AIM Surplus, I would highly recommend you get one. These are not CNR eligible. Because they were from the late 70s and everything, but go through your FFL, and even with the fee, it's a pretty cheap 9mm handgun to shoot. So I like the grade 2s. They had grade 1s, which had a lot less holster wear. It's all up to personal preference. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.